Okay, it's another in our series of our interviews with candidates for the upcoming Corby and East Northamptonshire by-election. I'm joined with another one now. If you just give us your name and the party you're representing, please.
It's Christopher Scotton representing the United People's Party.
Okay, and Mr. Scotton, why are you standing in this election specifically?
Because I think that a change needs to be made to both national and local politics.
Right, okay. And just tell us about the United People's Party, because it's a new party, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be our first election, and we want change. We want to give the working class people of communities a voice.
Right, okay. Now, I've looked at your website and it talks about liberal nationalism. What is that? Can you elaborate? What is liberal nationalism?
It's about giving people freedoms, but at the same time being proud to be British.
Right, okay. So you take the nationalist attitude, but you say that it's not sort of partial to racism or xenophobia.
Yes.
Right, okay. What are the important issues for you going forward in the election?
I think the most important one is unemployment. The unemployment rate in Corby is massive, especially between young people, which has the highest growth rate in the country since 2007.
Right, so how would you go about, if elected, sort of addressing that issue?
I think that I'd have to spend a lot of time with sort of business leaders and employment people and talking to them and seeing what we can do.
Right, okay. Obviously, we mentioned the fact that you're a nationalist party. What's your sort of attitude towards the European Union? Because there's a lot of candidates I've spoken to already who the European Union is a big deal for them, you know.
It's a massive deal, and it's a massive deal for people. And I think that we need to give the people the choice of coming out of the European Union or changing the way that we deal with the European Union.
So you'd be in favour of an in-out referendum then?
Definitely, yes.
Right, okay. Just staying on the economy, in terms of growth and try to get more growth to Corby, what would you sort of, how would you go about that in Parliament? What would your sort of attitude towards that be?
Well, I think firstly I'd be putting pressure on the government to change the cuts because the cuts are affecting the people that can least afford it. But I think tourism into Corby would be a big thing to get people into Corby and spending money.
Right, and why do you think that?
Well, Corby's a beautiful place. It's got a lot of sort of fields and it's got to be a great place for people that sort of enjoy walking and that kind of thing to come.
So you think Corby's not perhaps promoted in the way that it should be then?
Yeah, potentially.
Right, okay. There's been a lot of talk about healthcare issues locally as well. Possibly, they don't know yet, services may move away from Kettering General. What's your view on that?
I think people have got to be careful with this because what has been said by certain candidates is not the whole truth. So I think it's important that people actually go onto the internet and research the Healthy Together programme and what it is all about.
What are your expectations for this election, given obviously that you're sort of a new party as it were? I think you were formed in 2009. What's your expectations?
We have very low expectations. We're not expecting to get our deposit back, to be quite honest with you. But it's not about that. It's about giving the people of Corby another option.
Right, and from your point of view, perhaps a learning curve then?
Yeah, very much so.